Hiya, I'm Felicia, and you may or may not be aware I've been posting videos daily for the last 2 weeks about failings I've experienced across the NHS and a deep injustice that I am trying to get redressed about the way I've been treated. I'm making this video, this is a follow-up, because the videos that I've just posted were filmed in March. And this video is particularly an update about the videos about TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust, North Yorkshire County Council and my GP. Because in the videos that I've posted that were filmed in March, I document how they left me with no support after a suicide attempt in February, which was 5 to 6 weeks after my suicide attempt. So this is now 4 months later. Now, these videos have taken a lot longer to produce than I had thought. There's been a lot of work that's gone into them with post-production, which is why there's been a delay posting them. But I felt it was necessary to make this video as a brief update regarding my mental health and the situation I remain in with TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust, North Yorkshire County Council and my GP. So it's now been 4.5 February, March, April, May, June, 5.5 months since I survived a fatal suicide attempt, and I've had no support at all. I had 4 to 5 outpatient appointments with the crisis team at TEWV and Wales, and that's it. I've had no support for 4 to 5 months. None of them have phoned me to see how I am, checked in on me. I've just been faced with a wall of silence from them all. And I felt it was necessary to make this video, not just to update the fact that I still have no support, but to speak directly to these 3 organisations, because I feel it's important that they hear how this silence feels. You know, the 3 of you, TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust, North Yorkshire County Council and Ample Surgery, I've never experienced anything this hurtful in the 51 years I've been alive. A wall of silence after surviving something that brutal is pain I can't put to words, and I'm a writer and I can't find the words to tell you how much this hurts and continues to hurt. I can't even go to A&E at Scarborough and York Hospital for help, because last June from TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust told me at Scarborough Hospital that I couldn't come back for support there. So I can't even go to my local A&E for support, which just, I can't tell you how horrific it feels. I've had to temporarily remove myself from North Yorkshire. I'm currently filming this from a temporary place that I'm staying in because I don't feel I can keep myself safe in a place where I'm being ignored like this. But I just want to address each one of those organisations, and then I want to speak directly to NHS England because this is my final video. So I want to speak to TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust about you leaving me with no support, and the fact that I can't go to A&E at York or Scarborough for support either. Because, you know, I'm not going to make it. I reckon I've got 2 to 3 more weeks left in me max. I am really hanging on by a fine thread. And I guess I want to speak to you directly if in the event I don't make it. Because when we've sadly lost people to suicide, I've read countless times, and it's very common that NHS trusts come out and blame the patient. They say the patient was complex, they had trust issues, they didn't engage. That's another common one, they didn't engage. And if in the event that I don't make it, and that my story does end in suicide, I just want to set this straight. Firstly, I'm not complex. I've been straight as a dice with every single one of you, including all the NHS trusts about my facial pain. I've been polite, and I've presented clear, rational medical evidence to all of you. You are the ones that have made this complex. Through years and years of lying, covering and deception, it's not me. Second, I don't have trust issues. And even if I did, would you be surprised after the way you've treated me? But more importantly, I have engaged. I've engaged with you and tried to engage with you numerous times at TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust. You know, while I was under your care, I can't think of 8 or 9 times I can think of where I turned up for appointments at Princess Road Clinic, and the receptionist looked up and said, "Oh, sorry, she's not here, the clinician's not turned up," and you hadn't even bothered to phone me, and I've travelled all the way from Helmsley and you hadn't even phoned me. That happened numerous times. You've told me I can't go to A&E for support. You've left me with no support. You've discharged me. I have engaged politely with you numerous times. It's you that hasn't and are not engaging. And so I just want to be clear that if my story does end, if we end here and this ends badly, I want to say to you publicly, do not dare come out and tell anyone that I didn't engage. Because honestly, I have, and I've engaged politely as well. So I want to make that very clear to you at Tees, Escombe Wares. And also, just to let you know how this feels, the amount of times over this last week when I've wanted to just go down to Scarborough and speak to them, and I've had to stop myself because I can see that man's face saying, "You can't come back." I've thought, should I go to Harrogate Hospital? Will they see me? But you run the mental health services in Harrogate and generic all universally around North Yorkshire. So I'm stuck. I can't go anywhere for support. And I can't really put a word to what this feels like to be left like this. But to North Yorkshire County Council, my God, you went against GP guidance and psychiatric liaison guidance in 2023 and stopped my support. They both told you it would be a risk to my mental health. You ignored a police referral in 2023. You ignored a CQC safeguarding concern in 2025. And you've just ignored a police PPN, a public protection notice. You somehow think you're above the law. And what's so chilling about this is that it's all disguised behind posh voices and an upper class veneer, because this is North Yorkshire. People wouldn't believe in posh North Yorkshire, the land of the affluent county in England, the most affluent, that this kind of skullduggery and corruption exists. And that's what makes this even more sinister, that your crookery and your corruption and your nastiness is shielded by this upper class reality that you're in this affluent part of England. But you are, I can't even put a word to it. You're unbelievable. I don't think anything would shake you up. And between you and Ampleforth Surgery, I've never, ever known skullduggery like this. You'd find more civility in a den of thieves. So just so you know, that you have played a massive role in pushing me from where I was, hovering in suicidal ideation, to pushing me down, kicking me down, to now this very frightening reality where I can barely keep myself safe. You've been a big part. Your kick has hit me hard. And, to Ampleforth Surgery, I cannot tell you what it has been like being registered at your practice for the last 2 to 3 years. The fear, the threat that I felt every time I've gone in and seen that you've manipulated my records again, and that you've been obviously asking the admin teams to do it. And I think the most shocking was when you deleted that entry of me attending A&E on the 17th of May last year for suicidal feelings. And I didn't, clearly your admin team didn't know that you'd done it, because when I spoke out on social media that day, they went in and wrote an admin note to protect the individual. I've never again, all glazed with posh upper class veneer. You're a well-to-do organisation. People won't believe that this kind of stuff would happen in an organisation like this. They just wouldn't, and they may not believe me, and you may get away with it because of that. Unfortunately, the medical profession is a self-protected institution, and the PHSO, the GMC, and potentially the ICO may well protect you because of your well-to-do nature. I'm sorry if that sounds simplistic, but I think it's a reality. But I just want to say a couple of things to you. Firstly, I want to ask somebody in the admin team to please speak up. You know what's been happening. You know what you've been doing. And these are my records. And it's not just about me. It's about making sure that the individual who is responsible for this, and we all know who that is never ever allowed to do this again. So I know it would be a big move for you, because protecting your jobs and protecting each other is probably more important to you than me and my welfare. But please think carefully that by speaking up and telling the truth, you would be doing the right thing about the tampering of my records over the last 2 years. I also want to say, obviously, to the practice that If as a result of me speaking out like this, you choose to strike me off your books, that's absolutely fine. I'd be better off without a GP. I don't essentially have a GP. You're not giving me any support or care, so it wouldn't make a difference to me. And that's fine if you want to do it. But I want to make it clear to you, until there's been an audit trail of my records and all of these tamperings that I've recorded have been put right, I'm not registering with another practice, because I want this put right. And I'm also now not going to request any of my medication, my repeat medication. You've clearly stopped putting the weekly prescriptions on auto-prescribe like you were doing after my suicide attempt when they were moved to weekly. You can't even bother to do that. But also, it seems you're up to more trickery with this ECG that you said needs repeating, and you said that there's something to do with my medication that might need looking at. Well, I had an ECG at Cramlington Hospital after my suicide attempt and it was normal. So what it appears to me is this is potentially you trying to stop my antibiotics and trying to find a way to do it. And I'm not playing any more games. You know, if you want to play games, play them with yourselves, but not with me. So I'm not coming back for that repeat ECG unless you write to me and tell me exactly what this discrepancy is. Because it was normal in February at Cramlington Hospital. But yeah, I'm not, if you want to strike me off your books, do it. But I'm not registering with another practice until my records have been looked at via an audit trail. So, I wanted to make that clear to you. If you want to strike me off, do it. I had to name you because this has been real, what's been happening. And I think you need holding to account. Not just for me, but for potential other people you could be doing this to. I want to just turn my attention very lastly, to NHS England and to the new chair, Penny Dash. Why? Why are you treating me like this? You've effectively blacklisted me from the NHS. You've frozen me out. 18 NHS trusts in 12 years. Not given any mental health support after a suicide attempt. Given back the bottle of whiskey and the paracetamol. Told to go back to my hometown where I supposedly had a bed that didn't exist. And left with no support and not able to go to A&E. To reach out for help. How did we get here? And why? I really, really want to know why you are treating me like this. You've blacklisted me and I have done nothing. I am absolutely certain I have a clean heart and be able to say with a clean heart that I have been decent and polite to all of your staff over the last 12 years. I've never sworn, raised my voice, nothing. And you are treating me like a dead animal. You treat a dead animal more fairly than this. And I guess my question is why? Do you not think I deserve better than this? Anyone deserves better than this. And I really do think you need to come out or contact me privately and give me some explanation about why I'm facing this blockade from you and being denied very, very basic care and treatment. I can't tell you how it feels. And, as I said to TEWV and Wares, if this does end badly and it does end in me giving up and ending my life, I want to make it clear this is not my fault. You are going to have to come up with some accountability here. What has gone wrong here? Why are you doing this? Is it because it's just now a default behaviour in you where you just think it's okay because everyone else has done it? It would only take you, Penny, or one of your colleagues, James McKay, any of you, to do something different. One of you with some power could do something different and this would change for me. And so I'm asking you, at the start of your new tenure where you speak about patient safety, to come out and put this right. Put this wrong right. It wouldn't take much for you to do this. Anyone with some power could put this right. And I'm asking you to do that and to put my safety, start with one patient's safety. One patient who is in danger, start with their safety before looking at the big picture, because that's how you create change. You create change by having the courage to change a wave of behaviour, of neglect, years of duplicity and neglect, and changing it with honesty and decency. And you can do that if you choose to. And I'm asking you to choose to do that so that I can get the help that I need. And sorry, a message just come through on my phone, which is why I've been looking at a different thing. Sorry about that. But yeah, I'm asking you to please put this right. And you know, and if that means removing me from North Yorkshire, then do it. Help me get away from this place. Or, as you know, as TEWV and Wales Valleys Trust have refused outright to give me any support, you know, to bring in another trust for some urgent mental health support for me, so that this doesn't end in the loss of my life, because I'm not going to make it without any help. I just won't. I'm carrying too much, and this silence from you all, it kills people. It does. It's you know, these are big organisations that I'm dealing with. So please, start with one life, this life. Put the big picture aside for today and just do something that changes this for me. You've got the power to do that. So please, please, somebody in NHS England or the CQC, you know, please, please put this right. I've done nothing wrong, you know, as I repeat myself, and I don't want to repeat myself anymore. I haven't done anything to warrant this kind of behaviour from you, and this coldness and this viciousness and this nastiness. I haven't done anything wrong, so I really don't deserve this. Well, no one deserves it, even if they have, but I know I haven't. I don't deserve this. So please, reach out to me. My contact details will appear on the screen. It's info@myfacialpain.com. I'll also have my NHS number come up at the end of this video, so that you can get my mobile number by going into my records. Anyone who else out there who has power, whether you're a journalist, an MP, a politician, an advocacy group member, and you have some decency, some humanity, and some power to effect change within a system that has conclusively shut down on me, please, please, please reach out to me. Again, my contact details will appear at the end of this video. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you for your patience.